Good day, chaps, and welcome to another spiffing episode of the Job and Ruben podcast. Please gather round a fire as we talk about everything there is to know about Starlink.
Yes, that is it. For our next big episode, we are talking about Starlink.
Season 2's next big episode.
Oh yes, Season 2, very important.
Important that you say it's part of Season 2.
Two.
Right then.
Let's get into it. So, in this episode, we're going to cover what is Starlink, the history, how it works, touch on its military uses, and then a secret announcement at the end.
Quite right, jolly good.
So, Job, do you know what Starlink is?
I'm aware of it. I know from all the, well, not friends I know personally. I'm a, entitled city dweller. But I know that a lot of rural people use it to actually get decent internet. A lot of Australians use it to get a lot of decent internet. And it's kind of picked up a lot of steam, being talked about quite a bit. So, please, enlighten me.
So, it is a company driven by Elon Musk. I think that is the correct terminology.
Yeah, it influenced.
He's in charge of it and he owns it, but how much of he actually does is who knows, because he claimed that his dog was in charge of Twitter for ages. So
would make a lot of sense considering the decisions made over there. Ooh. But we digress.
So it's a bunch of satellites, 1,200 satellites that are scattered all around the Earth, which allow people to connect to his Wi-Fi, but the Wi-Fi is through the satellite, so you, instead of going from your device to the router, and kind of wired in, it's from your device to the Starlink router to the satellite, which connected to the internet instead.
Your satellite, which is typically, on top of your house, kind of pings the satellites
on your van.
Yeah, that is true.
So it provides internet access to whoever's paying for this great service. Yeah.
That's a pretty biased description, this great service, but
great service, yeah. And they claim to have fast Wi-Fi everywhere you go.
Yeah, of course, unfortunately, we're not made of money. We do not have Starlink here. We cannot test it.
We did Google.
We assume it sounds pretty good, according to sources.
Yeah. We have looked at the actual Starlink websites for some of the information, but then we did make sure we outsourced it to other websites.
Because of course Starlink is going to say it's the greatest Wi-Fi ever, please buy it, come on, honestly guys.
The fact of it being fast Wi-Fi everywhere, I think we can verify fairly strongly. Because of how it works with satellite, you're always going to be connected to a satellite fairly close.
It is, yeah, it is a good point. From what we know, it has a simple setup. Very high speeds, obviously if you put your satellite in the right place, put it in your shed, might affect your speeds there. And very low latency.
That's really important, especially if you're
but
big on
most
gaming.
most people don't really care about that. Most people are buying it because it provides internet access while you're travelling and also to rural areas in general.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, I can see as being quite useful. We'll get to that later. We'll get to that later because we do have some thoughts, don't we, Ruben?
Yeah.
However, there is the matter of the price.
So, even though it's very good and very useful, like everything so good or claiming to be so good, it comes at a very expensive price. So do you want to take a guess, ballpark, how much do you think it's going to cost?
Well, I help like the script, but I actually don't know what this number is. £45 a month?
So it's slightly higher than that.
Okay,
so I'll put it on average. For the average kind of UK person spending on their broadband every month and their Wi-Fi, they spend anywhere between about £36 to £50.
Okay, I have no idea how much we spend on our broadband, so
that's the average. UK spends between 36 to 50. So using that data, what do you think?
Ooh, well, it's got to be. I'd expect it to be lower because you're buying the satellites as well. There's got to be like a reason. Maybe £35-40.
No, so the Starlink is £75 a month.
You're joking.
Which,
I mean, I guess I can kind of see it. It must have been very expensive to set up, getting the satellites.
And then it's £480 setup cost, which, if it's your only option, then you have to go with it.
I mean, yeah, it's true.
If it's better than you paying £50 or £40 a month for something that doesn't work, or you don't get the speeds, or the internet just isn't available, then sometimes you just have to.
Yeah, obviously, by the sounds of it, it's worth the cost, but what was it? £75 a month?
75 a month.
I don't know.
That's a lot a month. I think, to put that into perspective, a year, it will cost you £900 a year.
It is. It's a bit sharp. Do you want to? Shall we give our thoughts on it?
I think the way it works is probably quite good if you're travelling or if there's no other option.
See, because
it's quite versatile in that manner. If you strap it to your roof of your van, it means wherever you go, you've always got Wi-Fi. But at the same time, you could just pay for an unlimited data plan.
Hear me out. This could kind of get rid of the need for mobile data, which would be a pretty good point, and would also help it reduce the cost. Yeah, it's expensive, but if you pay for a typical phone plan, which was what, £50? We'll go for £40, and then
for a typical phone plan or
not phone plan, broadband.
Broadband.
And then on top of that, you're paying for your phone plan with a bunch of gigs of data. Some people have unlimited gig for quite a bit of money. That's going to come up together for more than £75 a month. But if you have all of that in one subscription, you basically get all of it, because as you say, it connects you everywhere. So as long as you're close to, your van or whatever, which has the Starlink satellite on it, you basically have mobile data. It's mobile data, but it's so much faster.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like convenience. And I mean, yeah, if you're out and about without your car, it might be a bit inconvenient. But
everyone can connect to it really easily without having to hotspot to other friends.
Exactly. And the speeds are just like, obviously they're going to be so much faster.
Because otherwise, your alternative is using your phone to hotspot to your laptop, which, yes, can be good, but sometimes you're always capped at your mobile data speed, whereas Starlink, you can connect to your Wi-Fi like any other Wi-Fi.
So I have to say, honestly, if I was like some kind of, there's like van livers. If I was one of them, I would probably get it.
Nah, I'd love to live in a van. Do out a van one summer.
How does inviting friends around work if you live?
You make your bed and you just kind of invite them round, cooking your little stove, or if you
probably
go
barely
out.
A bit of chessboard now. I don't really know about family gatherings. But anyway, if you are one of those interesting people, if you're living in a rural area, a lot of your workflow depends on like your car and stuff. Yeah, it might be worth it, but I feel like if you live in the city where a lot of people don't even drive, like in London and stuff, because it's just so
expensive.
Yeah.
So you can't afford driving less. Or it's not always economical to drive in London, especially with the transport.
Because it's just that good.
Well,
when it's not on strike, it is very good.
Usually good, and they're not late. It's convenient.
I think in that regard, probably not worth it, but for the rural areas, yeah, I can absolutely see why you'd get it.
So, let's move on to the history of it. These are low Earth satellites.
Yeah.
And they originally started in 1980.
Interesting.
So, that's quite a lot earlier than what I originally thought.
Is that low Earth satellites in general?
So, yeah, satellites around in 1980. So then came along SpaceX in 2002.
Of course, yeah.
And they helped a little bit getting the motion flowing, but this is not in 1980 because SpaceX in around then.
Kicking back then.
So because they're both Musk companies, I'm fairly sure that SpaceX kind of helped in the mid
space
mid
aspect
2000.
of it.
Yeah. Quite interestingly, the name was actually inspired by the book The Fault in Our Stars, which is now also
I don't read
a film. It's a really good book. It's such a sad story, but it's one of my favourite reads. And it's a good watch, good film as well. It's got the person from the new West Side Story, and he's a Baby Driver. No,
the Baby Driver guy. You can tell how many actor names we know.
I think it's Baby Driver, the one where driving around in this car robbing banks, but he doesn't particularly want to rob the banks.
Yes.
Yeah, that film.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's him, and I thought it was really good.
Oh,
but anyway, I digress. So they were licensed in 2016 to kind of do this all, and this was all and they kind of made their big announcement about Starlink kind of coming and what they're doing in 2015. So 50% of communication by Starlink was their target. So Starlink wanted 50% of all the world's communication to be by...
That's a bit ambitious. I feel like broadband is still going to win, Like, the speeds and just... No.
So by 2019, they kind of got the go ahead to start launching proper communication satellites, and because obviously you have to get lots of planning and lots of
you don't just
even though
really
no Earth satellites were a thing in 1980, and they weren't really doing much. So it was only kind of 2016 where they were starting to do stuff.
Yeah.
But that was only licensing, so they couldn't fire anything. So they're probably just generating ideas, making plans, not doing anything. And it was only until 2019 when they got approved, of which November the 11th they first launched. So that was their first satellite gone. Pew.
Yeah. Thank you for the sound effect.
Pew. What else are you meant to do for a satellite launching?
Does it make us? Surely it's like a rocket, and then is it a rocket? They like rocket, and then it like the satellite comes off of the rocket.
Yeah, I think.
Or is it just like a cannon? You can tell we have known nothing about like
we did this
astrophysics.
We did this episode so long ago, and it's just been sitting here. So
I think this isn't the problem with the episode. This is the problem that we have no idea how rockets work.
Yeah.
Like, surely they like put a rocket up.
I think I think it's rocket, and then rocket detaches and leaves the satellite.
How do you? What happens if there's like a tech problem? Do you just launch up another one?
Bang! I think you just have to restart. Don't you restart and relaunch another one?
How do you get rid of it? Do you just like blow it up?
No, I think they do.
Is it like a kill switch?
No, they just float around in space.
Because I know there's like a bunch of them, but surely there's a better way to. That is weird.
Yeah.
So there's just like a bunch of random satellites just floating out.
But it wasn't until.
And one of them could come down and crash through the ceiling from us right now.
Yeah. Well, let's not think of that.
Interesting. All right, let's not think about our death from a.
Let's get back to the story time, as we say. The data service was 2020, so quite recent actually in terms of recent as stuff gets.
Yeah.
And the speeds are over 100 megabits per second. So.
Oh, is that fast?
Yeah, that is fairly fast. That is good speeds.
Fair.
Especially for satellite and.
Compared to what? Is it good speeds?
Well, the Wi-Fi speeds in my house are about 130. So, and I think the UK speed probably range from about 80 to 150.
Yeah.
Which is good. So actually, it was quite fast. Then we moved swiftly on to May 2021, where they made a deal with Microsoft and Amazon, so that Microsoft and Amazon would then provide the networking services for them.
Right.
So
that makes sense, yeah.
So they're just making a bunch of like deals and brands and making their name
improving it in general. Yeah. And then so where are they today?
I think they're just they're not doing anything mainly active. They're just using the company like the company should be used. They're now on ships. They're on Hawaiian Airways use them.
Oh really?
Yep. And most ships.
I mean that's what you want. The businesses using it, I suppose. And I mean it has a lot of utility.
Yeah. And now it's up and working. They're now just letting people use their product, use their facilities, and getting the big companies like ships and. Now Hawaiian Airways have them.
Yeah.
It probably won't be long until like Emirates or British Airways or American Airlines.
Can you do that? If you strap like an antenna to a plane. Wait, does it mean every customer there has Wi-Fi?
Because think about it, planes usually already have Wi-Fi, don't they?
I haven't flown them forever.
I haven't flown.
So, quarantine really did us in that regard.
Well, I haven't flown, so but from what I know, planes do have Wi-Fi. But with Starlink, if they can get a deal with Starlink, more people want to go to Starlink, and it'll be faster Wi-Fi probably.
Wait, am I just really dumb? No, planes don't have Wi-Fi.
Planes have Wi-Fi, Joe.
I guess we'll find out in a few months when I'm going on holiday. Probably can't tell you where. Wow.
So as our halfway point, we're gonna have a joke of the week, Joe. Do you want to go first, or should I?
We're going to start doing this, consider it a Season 2 speciality. Halfway through every episode, we're going to do a little bit, and hopefully we're going to change it every week. Today, we decided, literally because Ruben apparently has a very good joke,
it isn't good.
that it's going to be Joke of the Week. But my Joke of the Week is, of course, ladies and gentlemen, what do you call a wireless mouse?
I don't know. What do you call a wireless mouse?
Well, leave your answers in the comments below. You probably can't unless you're on YouTube, and I'm going to say it in a few seconds anyways. You call a wireless A hamster. I know. Comedic god. But anyway, let's hear this joke then.
So, how many software engineers does it take to change a light bulb?
I don't know. How many software engineers does it take to change a light bulb?
None. It's a hardware issue.
Oh, I can't control myself. Ah, very good. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us for this little bit we've got here. Drop us a message if you want to recommend what we should do next. And back to your scheduled broadcasting. So, anyway, how does it actually work? It's pretty normal so far. You know, you send your data over to the router. Obviously, you've got a special Starlink router. But then, the data goes up to the dish. Dish sends it to the satellite. They kind of exchange this back and forth through the dish. As it's contacting a satellite, you can access it pretty much anywhere around the world. Unless, of course, you are underground. So that's really the main, upside about this. It's not very complicated when you actually spell it out, but in terms of a service, they really are the only people providing it. So, yeah.
Now, next thought is it safe? Lots of queries around is it safe? New technologies, everyone's questioning.
Will it kill us? Are the young people going crazy? The basic stuff.
So, we've done our research. It is safe. No matter what you read, it doesn't cause well, from what we've read and what we've Googled...
So maybe tomorrow it's going to turn out that we've all got cancer because of Starlink, but most likely...
Most likely, it doesn't cause cancer. Don't listen to all these people telling you get cancer. We probably won't. But astronomy, it can leave some lines in the sky called astrophotographers were taking photos. Lines started to appear on their photos.
Oh, because of the
satellites. If you want to see these images, just Google Starlink interference images, and it'll show you. And it's really weird because they'll have this beautiful image with just streaks down it, which is the interference from the satellite, which isn't the best.
Yeah.
And then the only other kind of safety issue of it is because there are more satellites, things are more likely to collide with it. If they collide, things go boom. They could get knocked out of orbit, coming down to the Earth. Not very good. We don't want things colliding in space. Ooh.
Believe it or not, massive metal things colliding in space and causing explosions. Not a very good thing, really. But yeah.
But they probably wouldn't cause an explosion due to the vacuum in space.
Shut up.
But it would be bad.
Have you watched Star Wars? I thought so. My source is Star Wars, explosions in space. So let's talk about the actual uses of Starlink, shall we? As that is a pretty important aspect of it. If nobody's using it, Obviously, you've got Hawaiian Airways. They're doing their thing, providing Wi-Fi on planes. But then, of course, there's also the military. And when you think about it, that's a pretty natural, application of it. Obviously, you've got all these people deployed out. And obviously, a lot of new technology is spearheaded by the military. They've even been using it in Ukraine. Obviously, you got all the Russian hackers hacking the internet, destroying the internet infrastructure.
And they've been bombing communications. So, especially when they've wiped out communication, Elon Musk stepped in and gave Starlink to everyone so they could communicate and families could connect back again without having no way of contacting anyone. They've had a huge donation of £20 million every month due to that. That's how much they've donated in worth of. That's how much
satellites, I guess.
Yeah, they've actually donated.
To
help destroy.
To help destroy the Russians.
No.
Yeah.
To help rebuild what the Russians have destroyed, which is really good, and also in places if we take on Afghanistan, where it was really rural, so there aren't big telecommunications. So actually, if you've got a base, Starlink is quite often used it's starting to become more used in military bases because they can get Wi-Fi, they can communicate between a lot of people a lot faster.
Yeah.
If you're travelling, easier Wi-Fi, better communication, more tracking, and all this fun stuff.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So Job has this super special, not announcement, but a super special thing.
Well,
so when we were recording this, there was a slight...
Back when we were recording this, there was a rumour that Tesla was going to make a phone. And of course, as with anything relating to Elon Musk, all the shill channels on YouTube lit up about how it was going to destroy Apple and Apple should be worried, Tesla phone. And the whole real idea behind it is, theoretically, you could get a phone and you could set it up in such a way that it would constantly be able to connect to the satellite and give you Wi-Fi anywhere. I'm doing air quotes. You can't hear them because of the mic.
But yeah, the idea was it would have a built-in kind of satellite. It would be a basically an advanced satellite phone which could connect to Starlink, being very good.
How viable do you think it actually is?
I mean, knowing Musk, anything could happen. It isn't that. I reckon it's fairly viable because we have seen satellite phones before, but they're chunky. They are chunky.
Yeah, they're chunky. You have to stick out the massive, actual satellite and point it around. Maybe if it was the days of like Blackberries, back when people accepted their phones were going to look like that, but nowadays we expect a level of design. With Apple and their satellites and stuff for their SOS thing, you have to like direct it in a certain way just to get signal, and it's really hard. For that it's okay because it's a one-time thing. But for this, just to get Wi-Fi, you have to be swinging it around above your head.
I think it could definitely be interesting, but it's probably a bit ahead of its time.
I think so too.
Can definitely see it coming in the future, but who knows? I think it could be good, but only if it was done well.
Yeah, and of course this all could just be, Elon Musk buzz that is never acted upon. But equally, a lot of Elon Musk buzz is acted upon. I mean, the Boring Company, his whole flamethrower shenanigans. Anything could happen.
Yeah.
Would you buy it?
Probably not, but...
You're perfectly happy with your fruit phone?
Yeah, perfectly happy with my iPhone. Nothing will go wrong with that one. I don't think it's going anywhere time soon. The competition's very high to get into the phone market these days.
Yeah.
So, actually, it's a great phone. Will it happen? Who knows? It was just a rumour. The rumour has died out very fast.
Cool.
But we thought we would just comment.
Cool concept, let's say.
Yeah. So, thanks for listening to this riveting episode of the Job and Ruben Show.
Yeah.
I thought it's been good. What have you thought?
I mean, you are a bit biased considering you wrote half the script, but, very fun to record. And of course, if you enjoyed it, feel free to drop us a message. If you have any recommendations, feel free to drop us a message.
I think that's it. See you next time.
Adios.